It's our Wealth Wednesday on Morning Mix, and if you're like most investors, you've noticed the impact of higher inflation in recent years, whether at the gas pump or the grocery store. American investors are experiencing the effects of prolonged inflation for the first time since the early 1980s. As a result, many are concerned about how inflation levels will impact their ability to reach long-term financial goals.
And while it may not be possible to avoid the effects of inflation altogether, there are several strategies investors can utilize to mitigate the impact of inflation on their financial plans. We're joined again by certified financial planner Will Rogers to talk about strategies to protect your goals from consistent inflation. Will, good to see you, and this is a topic everybody wants to hear about.
No, it's here, and inflation's here, and forgive me, it's a little bit like the pollen. Every year it's going to come, it's going to be there. There's things we can do about it, and there's a little bit of put up with it, there's a little bit of clean it up, there's a little bit of get ahead of it. Okay. And so just helping our viewers realize, look, it's here, I don't have a magic wand to make it disappear, but it's going to get better.
So what are the things that we need to talk about that everybody should keep top of mind?
Well, as you're looking at inflation, you want to keep your money invested, especially if time is on your side, you want to use stocks. But for short-term money, you really want to be looking at higher yields, what might be available in high interest money markets and so forth.
Now, Will, why should you keep your money invested?
Well, as we've got the inflation numbers that have come out, and a lot of folks have been nervous about the market where it's down from its peak back in February. You know, when inflation soared in 2022, stocks and bonds dropped 22%. And we're only down about 9-10%.
Right.
We had double that drop in October, but by the end of 2024, the S&P had regained that plus more. You know, it was up 24.25% in 23, up 23% in 24. So if you would have jumped out in October, you would have missed those 23 and 24% runs. If you jump out now, who knows what you might miss going forward.
And then looking based back on the patterns that we've seen before, you want to stay in the game.
You really do. You want to stay in there and you know, embrace the volatility. The pollen's coming down. Yep, we got the yellow coating. It'll be gone in a little bit. It's not going to be here very long. Yes, the inflation and the drops in the market are here for a little bit, but yeah, it's going to be gone. We're going to get through this.
Let's talk long-term investors, why they should be looking at the stocks.
So again, stocks and equity investments are the best hedge against inflation. Since 1871, they have outpaced inflation in every 20-year stretch. Now, this does not mean every year they're going to do better, but if you look at a 5, 10, or especially the 20-year stretches, it's going to do far better. So say you're getting ready to retire. Okay. Oh, I'm going to retire in a year. That means short term? Well, no, not unless you plan on dying in a year. If you're going to retire next year, you're going to need money for 5 years into retirement, 10 years into retirement, 20 years into retirement. So most everybody should have a portfolio of money for those long-term goals to stay ahead of inflation.
Now, Will, what should you do for short-term goals?
Short-term is the complete opposite of what I was saying. So as strong as an advocate I am for equities for the long-term, short-term, you want to look at some of the money market funds, the high-yield savings accounts. Usually you should get very decent yields. If you're not getting above 4%, I would suggest shopping around for the rates that you have. And as a reminder, if you've got money that you're going to need in the next year or two, you have no business being in equities with that money. So if it's a short-term need, look at the money market, look at short-term U.S. treasuries that are maturing within 6 to 12 months, and you can get a much better yield than the 0.003% that you might get in a checking or savings account.
Let's specify this a little bit. When we say short-term, what kind of time frame are we talking about here?
I look at under 2 years. So if it's 24 months that you're going to be needing the money, then you're really going to want that dialed back into something safe. And if it's less than 12 months, then we're talking cash. Now, if it's at those high yield money market savings accounts or something like that, but the closer you get, the safer you want to be. And this is just like driving your car home. You know, you can be going down the interstate and flying at 80 miles an hour, and that's fine. But as you approach the driveway, you want to slow down and just kind of ease in there. Same thing with your money. You can be flying in the stock market when you've got a long time to get there, but as you're approaching the neighborhood, you're going to slow down and get into bonds. When you're approaching the driveway, you just want to drop it down a gear into cash and just have it where you can just slide on in, easy breezy. Don't do the stunt actor slamming on the brakes and skid it in.
But it's so fun. Okay.
Well, I know how you drive.
Good. Well, gosh. He's not wrong. Okay.
Okay, well,
All right.
good information there about inflation. Can you let us know what we're going to be talking about next week?
Next week, it's the next evolution of protecting identity, and there's so many folks that have getting taken advantage of, and it's something where I'm sorry, we've been trying to find a friend of ours a car, and so many of the posts that come up are just fronts for scam artists, and seeing that, so we're gonna protect you from not being the fool, and
Okay.
Yeah, good info.
Don't be a fool. Keep watching us. Will, thank you much. Appreciate it.
hey, good being here.
All right.